Welcome back to Trilogy's channel. I'm Frankie Mardell, and today we're going to be talking about the Rolex Sky Dweller, the updates we've seen over the years, and how to set one. But before we get into the video, our watch of the day is the stunning Rolex Datejust 41 with the deep blue factory diamond dial, white gold fluted bezel and Jubilee bracelet. I believe this is actually my favourite Datejust 41. I think the white gold bezel works really well with the diamonds, and the Jubilee, it really gives it that sort of pop and shine. I think this is the best dial combination. The Rolex Datejust 41 was released in 2016 to replace the hugely popular Datejust 2, which was only available on an Oyster bracelet and didn't have that many dial options, so it was nice to see the update with the slimmer and sleeker case. As well as a lot more dial options and bracelet options, I think it was a good move moving over to the Datejust 41. Gives it a lot more wearability every day, and it's nice to see all the different dials that are available. So this is our 2020 model with box and papers, available for $10,750. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. The Rolex Sky Dweller was first released in 2012, and it was a really highly anticipated model by a lot of the watch world. It was Rolex's first wholly new model in 20 years, since 1992 when they released the Yachtmaster. Initially, the Sky Dweller was only released in precious metals, similar to how the Day-Date was. So obviously in rose gold, yellow gold and white gold. We've got a couple of rose gold and yellow gold options in stock. It came out with the chocolate dial in rose and the sundust dial. As well as in yellow, you had the sundust and the champagne dials. My personal favourite from that initial release was the yellow sundust. It's quite a rare watch actually. They made a lot more of the champagne than they did of the yellow. The yellow just works really well in the light. It's sort of the way the sort of light bounces off of it gives it a really nice shine to it. And then back in 2017, Rolex came out with more affordable options in the stainless steel with the blue, white and black dials, as well as in steel and gold with the white, black and champagne dials. We've got a couple of them here. I say affordable, I mean they are at retail, but as we all know with the steel Rolexes, they're going for crazy money over list just because the demand is so high and the supply is so low. I mean, this blue dial we have here, it's got like an 8 to 10 year waiting list plus. In some places the waiting list is closed. The blue dial retails at Rolex at $11,850, but it's impossible to get, as I just said. So it's selling on the grey market where we operate around 22K to 23K for a new one. So yeah, at retail it is an affordable watch, but obviously you've got to work hard to get on the waiting list and get one purchased there. And if you can't be bothered to go through all the rigmarole with the AD, you can just buy one on the grey market. The Sky Dweller certainly created a buzz in the watch industry back in 2012, even before it was released. A few weeks prior to its release at Basel World 2012, Rolex trademarked the name, and this already created a buzz of people thinking, cool, what could the Sky Dweller be? A lot of rumours going around. No one actually knew, because as we all know, Rolex is really secretive. This was the display at Rolex Basel World 2012. As you can see, it had the cloth covering the display of the new Sky Dweller. In the past, fans of horology have criticised Rolex for making watches that aren't that complicated and not using high complications in their timepieces, which I do agree with in a way. This all changed in 2012 with the Sky Dweller, as it's the most complicated watch Rolex have ever produced. It's got an annual calendar complication and a dual time zone complication, all housed on the dial and all controlled by the intricate bezel movement, which I think was really clever the way they've done it. I realise a lot of people haven't actually had the chance to hold a Sky Dweller and know how to set one, and what the different sub-dials mean and all the different apertures on the dial, what they really mean and how it all works. So I decided to make this video today to just talk about the model, give you a bit of history on it, and to show those who maybe have purchased a Sky Dweller or who maybe are just interested in the watch, how it all works and how to set one should you ever come to own one. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this on what is actually my personal favourite Sky Dweller, the yellow gold with the newer released champagne batten dial, which is this one. Everything is done via the bezel, as shown. This watch, being dual time zone GMT, has two differing hour references on the dial. The first is right here. This red arrow beneath 12 o'clock actually dictates the time in the reference time zone. This will be your home time zone. For me, I'm filming this right now in London and it is 1 PM. So as you can see, the red arrow pointing towards 13 on the centre ring. The centre ring is a 24-hour reference. This tells us it is 1 PM at reference times. Time zones, for the most part, are all done by the hour, meaning the minutes of time zones will be the same and it is the hour that differs. As mentioned, this watch was developed with international travellers in mind. The normal hour hand, minutes and seconds hand indicate the time in the local time, or alternatively, It can be used to keep track of somewhere of note to you. My watch here says 8 on the normal hour hand. This is because I've set it to New York's time zone. It's probably the most useful time zone for me personally when not traveling, as I can keep track of the stock exchange hours opening over there. Around the indices on the dial, there are small apertures or windows. If you look at this second one right here, you can see a red mark in there, whilst the others are all white. This is part of the annual calendar complication and indicates the month. This is on position 2, as it's February while I'm filming this. Okay, so that's a little tutorial on how to set the watch. The Sky Dweller is the most complicated watch as Rolex has produced, as I've said, and it's really clever the way they've done it, and the annual calendar and 24-hour time zone are all housed quite neatly on the dial without looking too busy, too fussy with the complications it has. I think that's great. So let's talk about prices. For this video, I've been using the Champagne Baton Dial Sky Dweller. As I said, it's my personal favorite. When I first got it last year, I really enjoyed wearing it. I think I didn't so much like the old Arabic numerals Champagne dial as I do this one. I think there's something about the batons and the Champagne dial work really well with the yellow gold case. This one's available for 36,500, retails 37,450. There's something really funny going on in the market at the moment with yellow gold and rose gold pieces. Where there's such a huge waiting list on the still Rolex models, it's starting to move over to the yellow gold and the rose gold as well. So it's catching up to retail. It's only about £1,000 behind now. But obviously it's still a saving, so maybe worth purchasing on the grey market. The discontinued Champagne Arabic dial is going for a little bit less. As I said, the Sundust dial, which is the one we have just here, was quite a lot rarer when it was in production than the Champagne dial, quite a bit harder to get. So because of that, this is making a little premium over the Champagne Arabic dial that was produced at the same time. This one's available now for 37,000, and I think it's definitely a good investment piece for the long term. Obviously due to its rarity when it was produced, and now it's discontinued, it's only going to become rarer. Always the most popular when it was produced was the chocolate dial. We've got the newly released last year, the chocolate baton dial just here. This is a really popular watch at the moment, and there's not a lot on the market because it was only released and unveiled in September 2020. Obviously, as I said earlier, the steel pieces are making good money over retail, and there's a big waiting list for them. They're sort of the best ones to get if you can get them, either that or the Daytona if you're looking at a return. Mainly the blue dial, but the black dial is starting to catch up a bit, and they are making a good premium over list. So in stock we've got the black and the blue dials in the stainless steel. Both of them retail at 11,850, but obviously impossible to get, so they're making overs. If you can get one at retail, instant profit, instant investment piece, great job to get that. But I still think buying on the grey market, you would definitely see a nice profit in either the black or the blue, or indeed the white. The white's a bit trailing behind the black, but in terms of price, but still a good one to get. The black's going for about 16.5 for a new one, and as I said, the blue around 22. Last but not least, we've got the bimetal skies. So today we've got the Champagne bimetal, which is my personal favourite, and the black bimetal dials. The Champagne is the most popular one. I think the Champagne batons work really well with the bimetal case and the fluted yellow gold bezel. This one's 2021, it's available for 16,250. I think for long term, it's a good investment, probably not as good as the stills, like as we've always seen with bimetal watches compared to steel. But if you like it, which is always the most important when making a purchasing decision, I think it's one to go for where your money will be safe. Rolex also do the Oysterflex models, which were released last year. Don't have any here today, but I do think they're great watches, something to buy and keep for the long term. I don't think you'll make a lot of money on them, just because I think Rolex made a mistake on the retail price. I think they charged too much for it. They're around 35k for the Rose Oysterflex. In my opinion, Rolex should have priced it similar to the leather Sky Dwellers. They're about £10,000 extra for the Oysterflex. Why would you do that when you could just buy a leather one and put a nice aftermarket strap like a rubber B-strap on it and save yourself £10,000, and you can get another watch, a Submariner a date, or one of these, for example. So to sum up, I think the Rolex Sky Dweller is a fantastic watch in whatever metal you choose to go for, or whatever suits your budget. For long-term investment, I've given my opinion on the best ones. I'd go with the steel or the discontinued dials in the gold, like the Sundust, or even the newer dials. I think you can't really go wrong with them all. But like I always say, watches are becoming a new asset class, are something to definitely invest in. Definitely will make more of a return than keeping your money in a bank account earning 0.01%. But the most important thing is to enjoy the watch as well. Buy something that you like, as well as to appreciate, because then you will always be happy. So comment below what you think about the Rolex Sky Dweller, what your favourite metal is, and what one you would buy if money was no object. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching the channel. Check back for weekly updates and reviews on the watch market. Thank you. Goodbye.